smile, world turns to heartbeats, not only in my chest, but the heart in the street. So when they feel this, they feel me, but I can't feel nothing.
What's up, guys? Today we're doing a review of the KJW Tactical 1911 gas blow-bike handgun. You can purchase this gun on evike.com for $125. Hope you enjoy the review. The M1911 is a single-action, semi-automatic, magazine-fed and recoil-operated handgun chambered for the .45 ACP cartridge. John M. Browning designed the firearm, which was the standard issue sidearm for the United States Armed Forces from 1911 to 1985. The M1911 is still carried by some U.S. forces. It was widely used in World War I, World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War. Its formal designation as of 1940 was Automatic Pistol Caliber 45 M1911. For the original model of 1911 or Automatic Pistol Caliber 45 M1911A1. For the M1911A1 adopted in 1924. The box for the KJW 1911 is a plain cardboard box, and all it says is KJ Works, GBB 615, and some other stuff that no one really cares about. Upon opening the box, you can see the gun comes with 3 small paper shooting targets, the KJW catalog, which shows all the guns that KJW makes and whatnot, the KP05 manual, which is basically just a high kappa manual, nothing really different about this gun, and then a small box of KJW BBs. These BBs are alright to use, so go ahead and use them to your heart's desire. Then of course, you'll get the gun and a magazine. I would just like to point out that the gun does not come silver like this. My friend actually did this himself. He just took some sandpaper and dremeled the first layer and then sandpapered it, so it looks kind of nice. The bottom rail, all that. I think a silver 1911 looks pretty good, as it's not really a 1911. It's more of a, a high kappa, which isn't a real gun, of course. It's like a 1911 variant in real life. But overall, I think the silver sanding looks really good on this gun. First things first, the metal and plastic parts of this gun. The slide is completely aluminum, very heavy aluminum. This slide is very heavy, and it kicks like a mule. The barrel is metal. It's also 2-piece, and it unscrews. Kind of a downer, because it does come undone sometimes. The hammer is metal. The ducktail safety is metal. The safety is metal. The slide release is metal. The trigger guard, no, not the trigger guard, the trigger is metal. The bottom rail is metal. Anything you here see that's silver is metal. The magazine release is metal. The other safety, of course, the ambidextrous safety is metal. Also, the magazine is metal, obviously. But overall, it's a great gun for beginners, intermediates, or even advanced players. Starting at the rear of the gun, you can see the Taniakoba grips that KJW uses on their 1911 high kappas. This grip is made of plastic, unfortunately. It's not of the best quality. This gun did actually break quite a while ago. It dropped from about 3 feet and it broke into a million pieces, and I had to put a lot of pieces back together. And I was expecting a lot more from a Taniakoba grip, as it is made in Japan. They make good stuff there, but not the best quality. But the plastic, it does feel nice. It has a good texture to it. The grips are very comfortable to hold. The magazine release, as you can see here, is a standard 1911 mag release, and the magazine that fits in this gun is a standard 30-round high kappa magazine. It is compatible with any Tokyo-Marui WE or KJW magazine, of course. Even WE's 50-round high kappa magazine, which would look really cool in this gun, actually. And here you can see the safety. Now the safety, all you have to do is simply click it up, but on this gun it is broken and it will not move. I don't know why, but it just is broken. Then here you can see the dovetail safety. You push that in to fire. An example of this is you pull the hammer back and you don't have this compressed. That's another problem. Sometimes they'll just come up like this. It's kind of broken still. You can see. But if you don't have this compressed, you can't just 1 second. You can't fire the gun, but if you have it compressed, you can pull the trigger, which will let it fire. Here, you can see the slide release. Now, he sanded a lot of metal parts in this gun. I think it looks pretty good, actually, but a lot of you may think otherwise. Not that I care, but this is my gun. But other than that, back to on topic. You can see the ambidextrous safety switch here. It is ambidextrous, means you can do it on both sides. If you're a lefty, you can just flip it up. But like I said, this gun did break quite a while back. It still shoots, amazingly, but the safeties do not work, unfortunately. The hammer is a standard skeleton soul hammer you find on a lot of 1911s. Yeah, the gun has rear serrations and front serrations to make it easier to cock. And you can see the slide release here. Standard 1911 slide release. If I were you, I'd get the extended slide release. It'll make it a lot more easy to hit the slide release just right here instead of having to reach forward and hit it. My hands actually have kind of a trouble to hit it. Actually, if I'm holding it, then I'll have to actually use my thumb and hit it, which isn't a big deal, of course. These sights on this gun are standard sights you'd find on a high kappa. They have 3 white dots, and they work really well, and this gun is extremely accurate. With the slide locked back on the KJW 1911, you can see the red nozzle they have in the gun. KJW does use upgraded nozzles, which is why they make them red and or blue, like in their M9 series, to show that this gun is compatible with CO2 magazines, as KJW does make CO2 magazines for this gun. If you live in a colder area or you just want more shots in your magazine, then I recommend using CO2 other than propane, as propane does not work very well in cold weather. And I will show you this later more in the shooting test. Here you can see the trademarks on the side that says KJ Works, made in Taiwan. And you can also see the 3-hole silver trigger on the gun. Here you can see the standard rail on the handgun that you can mount flashlights, lasers, or even a foregrip if you're crazy. Unlike the standard 1911 shown here, you can see that the gun has a concave type barrel and a guide rod, unlike the standard 1911 that has a straight cut barrel and no guide rod. This gun really isn't really a 1911, it's more of a 1911 variant. Moving on to the disassembly of this gun. First off, you want to take out the magazine, set that aside, and now you want to pull the slide back so that the slide catches in that little nick right before it catches the slide release catch. And on the other side, you can see right here, I'm going to push that out. Now if you don't have any fingernails like me right now, you take a screwdriver, push it straight out, and here you can see your slide catch. Set that aside, and from here the slide will just slide right out. The lower frame, don't have to do anything with this, just set it aside. Now from here, it gets a little bit complicated. You want to stick your finger in this little nick right here, pull this back and twist it. Now what you want to do is pull this back, push the barrel forward, make sure it doesn't come with it, and then you just pop it out the side like this. It'll just take a little work if I can get this out. The spring and spring guide. The spring guide is sort of long and does have these 2 washers at the end of it that you do not want to lose. And then the spring goes over that, of course. And here you get the metal spring buffer that goes over the spring in the spring guide. And then from here, simply pull out the barrel, set the slide aside, and you can see the 2-piece barrel as this one unscrews. Not a very good thing because it does come undone sometimes while you're shooting. Here you can also see your hop up. It's that wheel right here. You should be able to see it. And you twist it, if you're looking at the barrel from this angle, you twist it clockwise to increase hop up and counterclockwise to decrease. But to put this gun back together, you put the barrel in through the front like so, and it should sit in place. Now you want to get your spring guide and your spring and your buffer. Put your spring buffer over the spring and spring guide. compress it all in one piece like this. Get the front end in, and just line it up like that, and then you want to twist this so that it goes in. You know, snap right in, and it won't hurt anything because it is both metal. No big deal. Now from here, you take the slide, just put it on your rails. Make sure the gun is cocked, and you push these pins out of the way while you're pushing the slide back on. Now line up the hole with that little nick again, and then you're going to put your slide release in, and it should just click in place. Make sure it works. Put your magazine in, and that is how you disassemble and reassemble the 1911. Moving on to the shooting test here, I'm using .25 gram BBs by Javelin, propane, and the 30 round magazine that the gun comes with. You can see that the gun here, as I shoot, has a lot of recoil. It doesn't look like it does, but I'm gripping the gun extremely tight, if I may note. The gun actually does kick like a mule, and if you put this in front of someone's face and shot it, it'd probably leave a bruise, as if the slide smacked them in the face. But here you can see this magazine does lock the slide back. It does have plenty of gas to shoot all 30 rounds. Moving to the first person view, I'm using a different magazine. It is KJW brand, but it does not hold gas very well. It does get cold extremely fast. And if you didn't know, it's about 50 degrees, or actually about 60 degrees out when I shot this. But the gun did shoot just fine for the first 25 rounds about. And the gun is extremely accurate. Now the grip is sort of thick because it is a double stack magazine, and here you can see I ran out of gas. But like I was saying, the grip is 30 stack double stack, but it is still very comfortable. If you want an affordable and reliable 1911 high kappa that can use CO2 magazines, then the KJW KP05 Tactical 1911 is the gun for you. It is full metal, it kicks like a mule, it shoots about 370 to 350 FPS. I kind of said that backwards, but you know what I mean. It does take standard high kappa magazines. The slide is metal, it's compatible with any Tokyo Marine high kappa parts, and it's cheap. It's only about $110 on evike.com. I hope you enjoyed the review, guys, and I thank Evike for making this review possible. See you later, guys.